Peter Obi must be very careful. And I think he has been very careful for all that I'm hearing. For instance, that the coalition has dropped him in favor of Rotimi Amechi, and that the Fulani Muslim imperialists are contemplating between Rotimi Amechi and Goodluck Ebele Asikwe Jonathan. Because Obi is giving certain conditions which the coalition views as uncompromising on his side. That is true. That when you are in a coalition, you cannot want everything to work according to your own terms. But the coalition is a dangerous terrain. Having Malam Nasir El-Rufai and Atiku Abubakar as among the strongest pillars, if not the strongest pillars from the north. And when we talk of Nasir El-Rufai and Atiku Abubakar, we are talking of core Fulani Muslim imperialists, not less than Umaru Musa Yaradua, who started the war against the Boko Haram Muslim community and been perpetrated since 2009 till date because of the strength of the Fulani Muslim imperialists who desired the war in the first instance. And when you talk of this war, it is nice that Atiku Abubakar himself, by God's grace, opened his own mouth and said that he told President Olusegun Obasanjo to send the army generals against the Boko Haram Muslim community. Even though he said Obasanjo agreed, did that, and wiped out the Boko Haram community. But that happened. Did that happen? Of course it didn't happen, because Femi Fani-Kayode already told us that Segun Obasanjo was told to eradicate the community, but he refused. And that was why the community survived. But not only that the community survived, we must remember that we had no war under President Olusegun Obasanjo. The only war he waged was against the Niger Delta miscreants. And he defeated them with blinking of eye. In no time, he finished them, and it ended there. It didn't boomerang. So, because it was a just war against the miscreants who created a buffet, saying that people from the south must not come, from the southwest and other places must not pass through Warri to River State, and so on. And then also they started to kill security agents, the Niger Delta miscreants. They felt so bold as to be killing security agents. Which nation will tolerate that? That was the basis on which President Olusegun Obasanjo waged war on them and finished. Unfortunately, Odi village harbored the miscreants, whether willingly or unwillingly. They made Odi village their hideout. And so the military has no option to level the village together with the miscreants. And you could see that it was a once and for all thing. They leveled all the village, and that was the end of the miscreants and their the headache they were creating for the country. But in case of the Boko Haram Muslim community, Femi Fani-Kayode told us he refused to fight the community because the community is covered by Nigeria's constitution that guarantees freedom of religion and freedom of association. But Atiku Abubakar exposed himself by himself, saying that he told Obasanjo to wage war on the Boko Haram Muslim community, and he refused. Indeed, most Nigerians did not know about the existence of the Boko Haram Muslim community throughout the presidency of Olusegun Obasanjo, because they didn't make any headline. It was a peaceful community protesting by the creation of the community, the prevalent haram, pillaging Nigeria of its resources, whereby the gap between the rich, the few rich, and the overwhelming majority poor was getting wider and wider, and there was no sign or move to close it. And they said, no, this is un-Islamic. Let us create an ideal Muslim community. And so it was an association of Muslims who believed that haram has eaten too deep into the Nigerian fabric. And when they didn't cause any trouble for anybody, Obasanjo refused to cause trouble for them. So Atiku Abubakar has now told us what to expect from him. Continued war against the Boko Haram Muslim community. 2009 to 2025. All the presidents, Yaradua, Jonathan, Buhari, and now Tinubu, all of them boasted that they will eradicate them in 6 weeks, in 6 months. None of the above has happened. Yet, Atiku is saying he was boasting, he was actually glorying in it, that he asked Obasanjo to eradicate them, and that Obasanjo did. When and where? Boko Haram never made if Boko Haram made any headline throughout the presidency of Obasanjo, bring it out. Bring it out. Bring it out for us to see the headlines that Boko Haram made. So, and these are the people constituting the coalition. And you cannot deny it that Malam Nasir El-Rufai had no issue with Tinubu throughout the 8 years of Buhari until Tinubu ditched him and refused to give him any ministerial appointment. But we thank God for that, because he is said to be behind the insistence that Tinubu must choose a northern Muslim as his running mate. Beyond the fact that neither Rufai nor Tinubu saw anything bad in the 8 brutal years of Muhammadu Buhari. And Atiku Abubakar agreed to go with El-Rufai to pay homage to Muhammadu Buhari. So what exactly do you want to expect from a coalition in which Rufai and Atiku Abubakar are powerful? So I give credit to you, Peter Obi. You are genuine, and by the grace of God, God will use you to turn Nigeria around to be what it should be. A nation endowed by God with abundance of mineral and human resources. America is many times bigger than Nigeria. 3 of the biggest states in America, Nigeria is not, according to those who know, tell us that Nigeria is not bigger than 3 of the biggest states of the 50 states of America. So you cannot say our population is the cause of our problem. No, God endowed us with the land and mineral and human resources. So we have no reason to be poor. No, except that our rulers are fraudulent. They will go and borrow a concept to be exploiting the nation, fuel subsidy. You are living on fuel money and you say you are subsidizing it. From what source are you doing that? So I want to credit Obi that he doesn't want to compromise to garbage. El Rufai and Atiku Abubakar. No, it's important. It's important because what do they represent? What do they represent? It's a different matter. If they can confess that they have repented from visiting pay homage to Muhammadu Buhari and Atiku Abubakar saying it is these people who are wasting time. He told Obasanjo to use army to eradicate them. The presidency of Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, who started it, could not finish it. Jonathan squanders his 4 years, his entire 4 years fighting Boko Haram, even with all the suicide bombing and all of that. Jonathan failed woefully 4 years. He thought he would do it in how many months? He said 6 months. That was December 2011. He said we should give him 6 months to get rid of Boko Haram. I consulted Ifa Orunmila. Ifa Orunmila said it's not going to be possible. And that very month, December 2011, I told Jonathan, don't waste Nigeria's life and resources. Orunmila said you should seek peace with Boko Haram. Go and read the newspaper of that time. And newsmen, if they are sincere with themselves, they can bring you out those news that I said don't waste. When Buhari came, I told him the same thing. Don't waste human lives and resources. Orunmila already said you will not be able to defeat Boko Haram. And now Tinubu is deaf to all. He's perpetuating the war against Boko Haram. He's perpetuating S-men terrorism. Now he added his own fuel subsidy remover. What do you call it? Electricity remover, kerosene, gas. Nothing to enjoy for Nigerians. And you say why? Because of smugglers. So you cannot fight smugglers. You cannot protect our borders. But you can spend all the money and human lives fighting Boko Haram. And when under the presidency of Buhari, armed bandits started mushrooming, I asked why. And the answer that I got was that the economy hardship is biting so hard that people take to armed banditry, kidnapping for ransom. All of them started mushrooming. And you can see that what we now have during the presidency of Ahmed Tinubu is more terrorist organizations. I don't know their names now. You do, you Google it, are coming to Nigeria. New ones. And that was what Ifa Orunmila said, that if you eradicate the last person of Boko Haram, new ones will emerge. All of these are related. It's only I cannot lay my hand on the papers. But those who are following me, who have been following me since I started writing in newspapers, we testify to what I'm saying. You see it? That even if you eradicate Boko Haram, the existing ones, new ones will emerge. And while Boko Haram is yet to be eradicated, some more terrorist organizations are coming to Nigeria because it's fertile for terrorism. As simple as that. Because of the bad rulership. Look at it now. Fuel subsidy is gone. Just like that. And as if that were not enough, electricity subsidy is gone. Of course, with fuel, you have gas and kerosene. The fuel subsidy taken for granted, gone. Upon that, you devalue the naira. And notwithstanding the skyrocketed rate of inflation, you are not ready to pay workers living wage 70,000. What is 70,000 compared with prices in the market, compared with cost of living? To go transportation, catering for education of children, taking care of elderly persons. You now said you are transferring funds to indigent households after turning Nigeria's workers into indigent households. So, but now where I'm going is that if Nigerians want change, they cannot rely on El-Rufai and Atiku Abubakar coalition. That's the truth of the fact. Also because I have not seen any sign of repentance in the two of them. You see it. So, because the motivation to go against Tinubu is not for the good of Nigeria. Even though Nigeria is getting worse under Tinubu and they can now use that as excuse to get rid of him. But let me tell you, any Nigerian who doesn't want to get rid of Tinubu should consider himself a devil. Because the hardship in the land is loud enough without speech. It's loud enough. You don't need to be poor yourself. You only need to know what is happening to your neighbors. Overwhelming majority of your neighbors are suffering, and you are saying the next thing is Tinubu. Abba, where is your conscience? Where is your conscience? So let us rally, and thank God, I've said it. Nigerians, rise and rally round Peter Obi. And for all I see now, let us target the person of Peter Obi, not the coalition. The way things are going. But we can say whatever political party Peter Obi settles for, let us adopt it as our political party in all sincerity. Because following this El-Rufai, he has been there for ages. And you would think that as he ages, he should be tired and be relaxing as an elderly statesman. But it's not. What's the difference between El-Rufai and Tinubu? What's the difference? They both saw nothing wrong with the Buhari presidency. And Rufai continued to regard Buhari as his political godfather. In fact, one who made him to become the president of Kaduna State. And that is the truth. That's the truth anyway. So, but then, tell me your friend, I tell you who you are. So, I didn't know Atiku Abubakar, but providentially, he has exposed himself, going with Rufai to pay homage to Buhari and opening his own mouth to tell us that he was the one who told Obasanjo to eradicate the Boko Haram Muslim community, while Haram continued to plague Nigeria, including removal of all subsidies are gone. Only to be claiming to transfer funds to indigent households, and the students who are poor should come for loan. How many students are not poor when you are paying workers pittance 70,000? What is the tuition of schools? What's the tuition? Transportation, hostel, transportation alone. Even if a child is living in his father's house now, how many miles is the father's house to campus? Even when you say I'm from Ilorin and you are coming from Olode, Ogidi, not to say Okolowo, not to say Garage Ofa. Count the cost of transportation alone for those students coming to school on daily basis. So Nigeria is ruined. What are we talking coalition? Coalition or no coalition? This Peter Obi has demonstrated his integrity, even by not cooperating with the coalition. I credit you. And by God's grace, Nigerians will come to their senses, put aside religion, put aside ethnicity, and go for what will work for Nigeria. Tinubu will never work for Nigeria. If he will work for Nigeria, he will have done so in more than 2 years. Even in 3 months, we will have seen the difference. But everything is just going down the drain since 2015 till date, because he has been part and parcel of it since 2015 till date. So what else will he want to show than to deceive us to get power for another 4 years like Muhammadu Buhari? I knew from day one that was his goal, to dribble Nigerians and get another 4 years like Buhari, who he helped to get 8 years. So, in my own little way, the way I see Peter Obi, even for not cooperating with the coalition, I give him credit.